It's Halloween, so come dance with the devil at the Marietta-Lassiter matchup and find out which team wins. Can Campbell spook the only undefeated team in Cobb County? And will Pebblebrook get their first win and take a piece of the Cobb County pumpkin pie? Now, who says ghouls can't play football? Don't think you're seeing ghosts. It really is Ann and Megan in football uniforms trying out for the Wheeler High School team. We have a frighteningly good lineup for you tonight, so stay tuned for the fastest and scariest 30 minutes in television.
If you're frustrated and failing in school, fighting about it won't help. Doing something about it will. Call the Huntington Learning Center at 977-2800.
Take control of your future and break the failure chain for good.
Call the Huntington Learning Center today.
All champions have to dress the part, and Pro Sports has got you covered from head to toe with T-shirts, hats, lightweight jackets, and leather jackets. The only place big enough to get every Cobb school under one roof is Pro Sports, with 2 locations, including Shackelford and East Cobb.
These days, it's not a restaurant's food that most people choke on. Buffalo's Cafe. Nice atmosphere, good service, and prices that are as easy to swallow as the food.
The games.
And nobody's gonna catch Don Bunton.
The moments.
Here's the Hail Mary. It's tipped. Touchdown Lassiter.
And everything in between. Cobb Prep Rally.
Touchdown Blue Devils.
The only game in town.
Good evening, Cobb County.
Why, Scott, I'm so glad to see that you're awake just in time for the scariest edition of Cobb Prep Rally from the Asylum Haunted House in Lilburn.
But first, a warning.
Your scholarship applications are due by Friday.
Or else.
Well, Scott, it is the witching hour in Cobb County football, is it not?
It's a do or die situation in sub-region play.
That's right. So let's get on with the program, and let's see who comes out alive of big game number 1.
Well, let's hope big game number 1 is better than that acting. South Cobb led 21-7 early in the third quarter when quarterback Keith McMillan fakes the handoff to Inko Simpson and knifes his way 14 yards into the end zone. The 2-point conversion cut South Cobb's lead to 21-15, but the War Eagles came right back. Corey Kimball takes the pitch from Trey Donaldson, and 9 yards later, it was 29-15 Eagles. The Falcons cut the lead to 6 on Derek Russell's 1-yard run, and we're driving again late in the fourth. Fourth down, McMillan scrambles to his right and finds Brad Wood over the middle for the first down and more. Wood took the ball inside the Eagle 30, but the clock was running out on Coach Steins and the Falcons, and with no timeouts left, it didn't look good for Pebblebrook. With under 2 minutes left, McMillan hits Simpson, and he's out of bounds at the 5. With under 10 seconds left to play, McMillan looks to the end zone and just squeaks it in, tying the score at 29. The Falcons go wild, and now the extra point could win it. It's up. It's good, and the Falcons win it. The Falcons win it, their first win of the year. Oh, my.
A senior tonight brought us to victory. Keith McMillan did just ungreatly, I don't know what the words to use, just a valiant effort. He gutsed it out right there with time running out to get in the end zone. That's what it's all about, putting it on the line in the line time. Defense came back and played tough the second half, only allowed them 1 score, and the offense came back and put 30 points on the board the second half. So that's what you got to do sometimes playing football games. So they did what they had to do. What can I say?
It was a good one, and next week, Pebblebrook is home to Douglas County, and South Cobb travels to Lithia Springs. Big game number 2 pits the Osborne Cardinals versus the Campbell Spartans. Now, Osborne has tied the school record for wins in a season with 7. They're going to try to break it against Campbell, and in the process, going undefeated, 8-0. It was homecoming at Cardinals Stadium, but early on, it was Campbell spoiling the party. Chris Howard intercepts the Hakeem Batiste pass, giving Campbell great field position. And it didn't take the Spartans long to capitalize. Gary Harden, number 33, fakes out the cameraman and the Osborne defense en route to the end zone. It was a 45-yard run, giving Campbell the 7-0 lead. Brian Powell wanted no part of an upset on this night, so he sent his best players to work. Hakeem Batiste rolls out to the right, looking to the end zone and heaving a pass to Marcus Larry, who skies to make the sensational catch. Osborne tied the score at 7, then widened their lead on another TD pass from Batista Larry. Chris Howard brought the Spartans back, though, taking the ball around the end and out at the 1. Tremaine Gay dove in from there, making the score 14-13. Campbell missed the extra point, and Alan Nicely's team eventually fell, nearly upsetting the undefeated Cardinals. Next week, Campbell is home to Alexander, and Osborne takes the week off.
You know what, Meg? As we're sitting in here serving out our sentence in the dungeon, missing all the Halloween fun, what would you go as if you could go to any of these parties? You know?
I know exactly what I'd go as. I already thought about this one.
Really?
I'd break out of this stereotypical cage and go as a football player.
A football player? No way. I mean, I can do that, but I've just never been on a team or suited up. I wouldn't know how to be a football player. Yeah?
Yeah, you're right. I haven't either. You know what? We need some genuine training. And I know just where to get it.
Let's do it.
My name's Coach Hollis. I'm the head coach at Wheeler High School. We got 2 new players that have shown up today for practice, and we're going to try to teach them a little bit about how to get dressed, and then we're going to go out and we're going to do some drills, and we're going to see if these guys can play, because we sure need some help right now.
That's right.
Welcome new players.
Thanks, Coach. Thanks.
If you want to slip those on right there,
All right.
and I'll show you as you perspire and get wet. Those pants are going to stretch a little bit. They're going to loosen up a little bit.
Stretch now.
One of the questions that, as a head coach, that the officials ask me every Friday night before a ball game, they say, Coach, are your players legally equipped? And I have to say yes or no. If I say yes, and somewhere during the course of that ball game, they discover that Ann's butt pad is missing, she can immediately be sent out of the ball game. We're going to let you put your pads on, and you can pull thread your straps right there through that little. I think last year we may have had 7 girls in the state of Georgia playing football, and a number of those were kickers, but there were several that were full-time players also, and are doing well. I anticipate more of this in the future. And over there.
I'm going to tackle Scott right behind the camera.
Good idea. This helmet is not designed to protect the neck. Players are taught on a daily basis to tackle people with shoulder pads.
Wait, seriously?
Yeah. Okay. Now you got to get this one.
Scott, don't film me.
Yes, filming. This is Alan Lantrip. Alan, I want you to tell me, what would I need to know for my first day of football practice?
Just do what the coaches say. Hit hard.
Down.
Just come at me like this and just wrap your arms.
Stretching. Very important. We need to be stretched out.
This is too much fun.
Here's the tendencies.
What they tend to do.
Yeah, that's the tendencies they show. For instance, off the film and off the computer sheet, they have a big tendency of going.
What did it feel like when I brought you down, dude?
It was all luck. Don't listen to her.
Oh, no, he lies. I hit hard.
If she wants a rematch, just let her bring it on.
Thank you very much. We appreciate it. We appreciate it.
Thank you so
Thanks,
much.
Coach Hollis, right here on the cake. We appreciate you letting us triumph.
Thank you.
What
I
a
appreciate
guy.
that so
What a
much.
guy. Thanks for staying with us, Cobb County. We want to thank the Wheeler Wildcat football team for letting Megan and I come out and try. So we appreciate it. In Cobb County, stay tuned. Find out what's coming up next.
Well, Ann, glad to see you and Megan are breaking those gender barriers. We have more women in sports on the way. Our female focus brings us to the fast-pitch state softball tournament. Then it's back to the guys as we salute our Scholar Athlete of the Week. That's all straight ahead.
Are you a high school athlete looking for scholarship money? North American Sports Scouts can help. We'll send your profile to hundreds of colleges every month to help you find scholarship money. There's money waiting for you. Don't get overlooked. Call North American Sports Scouts for a free consultation.
Introducing the Hair Pizzazz haircut. Yeah, that's the ticket. Possibly, maybe, I give up. Yes, Hair Pizzazz. Put some pizzazz into your hair.
When you order our hot wings at Buffalo's Cafe, we provide you with one of these. Of course, when you order our extra hot wings, we suggest you bring one of these. Buffalo's Cafe. Nothing fancy, just good food.
Larry, where do you think you're going with that?
The oven?
The oven, Larry? Perfect.
At Papa John's, our mission is to deliver the perfect pizza.
Tonight's Scholar Athlete of the Week is brought to you by Huntington Learning Center at 977-2800. Take control of your future and break the failure chain for good. Call Huntington today.
Jimmy Elkins moved from Houston to Atlanta when he was in the 8th grade. No matter where he is, our Scholar Athlete likes to learn. Jimmy's favorite subject is anatomy, and he sees a sports medicine career in the future.
I've always been interested in it. One of our trainers, Steve Curls, it interests me all the time. When I get injury, I like watching whatever he's doing, stuff like that.
Jimmy keeps his anatomy book conveniently located to make sure he gets to his favorite class on time.
Like I said, it's where I keep my most favorite class, anatomy. I come here, this is my route to class. I leave from here.
Outside the classroom, Jimmy plays football, pitches for the baseball team, and wrestles. He even earned the coveted hog hat for being the offensive lineman of the week. But classwork always comes first.
I'd like to introduce y'all to my favorite teachers, and he's also my baseball coach, Coach Harvey Cochran.
How are you doing today? Congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
Jimmy loves to learn and lives to play ball. When he's doing both, our Scholar Athlete is in hog heaven.
Well, Jimmy, congratulations on being our Scholar Athlete of the Week, and best of luck to you pursuing that sports medicine career. Now we're up to the female focus, and we've got some great highlights for you from the state softball tournament. Cobb County was represented by the Lassiter Trojans. They battled Dunwoody, so let's take a look at the game.
The first ever state fast pitch tourney saw Lassiter representing Cobb County last Friday. The Lady Trojans faced state powerhouse Dunwoody in the opening game, but great plays like this one from catcher Alicia Griffith kept Lassiter in the game. But Dunwoody draws first blood. Second baseman Heather Scott handles the fielder's choice easily, but Dunwoody scores from third. 1-zip Wildcats still early in the game. Lassiter brought their sticks too. Naomi Elliott finds one she likes and singles in the third off Portman, but ends up stranded. Dunwoody scratched a run together 2 innings later when Heather Scott elects not to make a play at the plate. 2-0 Dunwoody. Lassiter skipper Hutch Bibby says let's not quit, and they didn't as Corinne Tecchione drives in Carrie Gay with a clean single. There's no play at home, and Lassiter cuts the lead in half, but Dunwoody matched that run with one of its own. 2 out in the 5th, Lassiter shortstop Lauren Muccoloni goes deep in the hole but can't make the spectacular play. Dunwoody trots in from third, and it's 3-1 Wildcats. One last rally from Lassiter in the 6th. Naomi Elliott singles again, and then with Lassiter runners on first and second, Carrie Gay's base hit kicks up chalk and right, and here comes Katie Norris in to score. Not a great camera angle, but it looks like Katie's in there. Nice call, ump. And that would do it. Dunwoody goes on to win it 3-1 and advances to the semifinals. The Lady Trojans win their next game against Oconee County, but were finally eliminated by a strong Douglas County team later on Friday night. Great year, ladies. Congratulations.
Tonight's Female Focus is brought to you by American Cheerleading in Atlanta. From the top programs to the college-bound athlete, we teach basics all the way up to the very best in cheerleading training.
Hi, this is Bob Giles, sports editor of the Cobb Extra. We're here at the Buffalo's Cafe, the brand new location at Sprayberry Square with lovely Sprayberry High School in the distance. Get your pencils ready. Your chance to beat Bob is coming up right after you watch the plays of the week.
Tonight's Play of the Week is brought to you by Pro Sports. Check out our selection of JanSport bags and letter jackets. Pro Sports with 2 locations.
We're back at the Buffalo's Cafe, a brand spanking new location at Sprayberry Square near Sprayberry High School, and it's time for this week's football picks. Hurry into one of 6 area Buffalo's Cafes for your chance to outpick me between now and game time and win a free bash night at Buffalo's. Now, let's salute last week's 6 winners. Now on to the picks. Let's look at Region 5 Quad A. North Cobb at Cass. Well, these are 2 of the most unpredictable teams in Region 5 Quad A, but North Cobb's been a little more consistent offensively, and running back Don Munden is a quality player for the Warriors. North Cobb, 21-14. Northwest Whitfield at Harrison. Harrison played McEachern very tough a couple of weeks ago, but it hasn't been the kind of season that Hoya fans hoped for. I'm just not sure that Harrison is ready to win this kind of game against an opponent of roughly equal talent. Northwest, 10-7. McEachern at Paulding County. McEachern coach Jimmy Dorsey takes his Indians back to his previous coaching stop, and you wonder if his offense is going to go with him because it's been a little sluggish and inconsistent at times this year, but it may not matter because his defense has been right on every time. McEachern, 21-7. Alexander at Campbell. If Campbell can avoid the kind of painful mistakes that have plagued the Spartans the last couple of losses, very close games, I think they can be competitive with Alexander, but I feel like Alexander's just a sounder team. Alexander, 28-14. Douglas County at Pebblebrook. Pebblebrook's tried to hang tough through a very disappointing season, but it's hard to do that when you just cannot put the ball in the end zone. Unfortunately, Douglas County can. Douglas County, 20-10. South Cobb at Lithia Springs. Well, Lithia Springs is coming off an emotional game against its Douglas County rival Alexander, and the Lions do a good job with a very young group. I like Lithia Springs, 17-10. Lassiter at Chattahoochee. Lassiter impressed a lot of people a couple of weeks ago by beating Roswell, one of the preseason favorites in the sub-region, and Chattahoochee is not as good as Roswell. I don't think this will be a breather for Lassiter, but I do think the Trojans will win 14-10. Sprayberry at Marietta. It's been a difficult debut year for Coach Ronnie White and his Yellow Jackets, and they're not going to get much help from Marietta, I'm afraid, which is just too sound on both sides of the ball. Marietta, 28-7. Milton at Walton. Well, there's nothing fancy about Milton. They just line up with a big line and some big backs and pound at you the whole game and hope you break, and most teams do. I'm not sure Walton can handle that for an entire game. Milton, 28-21. Wheeler at Pope. Well, this should be a good one. The loser will have an uphill struggle to make the playoffs. Pope's never beaten Wheeler, and this is going to be a good opportunity to do it because the Greyhounds are deeper and more experienced. But Wheeler's still Wheeler and will make it close. But still, I like Pope, 24-21. There you go. Don't forget to fill out your Beat Bob contest form at any of the 6 area Buffalo's Cafes. 1 winner per store per week. We'll see you next week at another Buffalo's location. Until then, this is Bob Giles. See you next time.
Next on Cobb Prep Rally, find out what bugs these people about the opposite sex and what riles these folks during our Hot Shots contest. No telling what could make our mystery trivia guest lose his cool. Maybe a high-energy football game like Marietta at Lassiter. But you just chill out. We'll be back in a flash.
All champions have to dress the part, and Pro Sports has got you covered from head to toe with T-shirts, hats, lightweight jackets, and letter jackets. The only place big enough to get every Cobb school under one roof is Pro Sports, with 2 locations, including Shackelford and East Cobb.
Community pride comes in many forms. You can see it in your children. You can feel it on Friday nights in front of your friends and neighbors. Or you can show it in ways that aren't so plain to see. Showing pride in your community is something you want to do, but never something you have to do. At Cobb American Bank, we feel that pride. We think it means supporting our local residents and schools. After all, if you're investing in us, then we need to invest in you. Keep your money in a bank that shares your pride in East Cobb. Cobb American Bank, member FDIC.
When it comes to buying fine jewelry, the name on the wall may make the difference. At Edward John's Jewelers, we understand your need to feel comfortable when it's time to decide. We hope 15 years of giving back to East Cobb means something to you because it means everything to us. Edward John's Jewelers.
Hi, welcome to Music Docs, Cobb County's home of the bands and home of plenty of satisfied customers.
I keep coming back because they're really friendly here and they're real good at having the supplies that we need for my daughter.
My favorite thing are the people.
They are very helpful and a lot of fun, and the hours are great.
So get in step with Music Docs. Chances are your high school already does. For great buys and service after the sale, call Music Docs in Marietta, Cobb County's home of the bands.
If you're frustrated and failing in school, fighting about it won't help. Doing something about it will. Call the Huntington Learning Center at 977-2800.
Take control of your future and break the failure chain for good.
Call the Huntington Learning Center today. Mark down October 28th. That's the application deadline for the Prep Rally $1,000 college scholarship. Brought to you by these fine sponsors. Look for details and applications in your guidance office. Thanks for watching and good luck.
For this week's Hot Shot, we bagged a couple of sophomores from Lassiter High School. Jay Bracci and Mark Dirth are ready to rock and roll. Oh, first kick no good, but great crowd support definitely helps. And the next kick is right through the uprights. Guys, you need one more good one for that free pizza. And it's no good, but thanks, Mark and Jay, for being this week's Hot Shots. While the Lassiter softball team made it to the state tournament, the Trojan football team was on a little shakier ground. They entered their sub-region clash against Marietta with a 2-4 record. Meanwhile, the Blue Devils had never lost a 6 Quad A sub-region A game since 1988. But this is the Halloween season. Spooky things can happen. So on with the witching hour. Here's Marietta at Lassiter. It's definitely a scary Halloween experience to face a team like Marietta, but the Blue Devils were bewitched early in the first. They tried a trick, but Lassiter got the treat, a fumble recovery on their 11. Carlos Williams tries to take advantage, but the Marietta D is too much. After halting the Lassiter drive, Marietta sends Brian Scales on the draw. The Devils establish great field position, and it's time for the touchdown pass to Matt Anderson. Marietta takes the lead. Meanwhile, Lassiter coach Jim Cagle watches his daughter Haley cheer for the enemy, but Haley watches dad's team move down the gridiron. Here comes Britt Lehman making mincemeat out of the Marietta D. First down, Trojans. But on second down, another fumble, and the pigskin is back into Devil hands. 2 plays later, the handoff to Brian Scales, and he coughs it back up on the 18-yard line. On first down, Carlos Williams hands off to Britt Lehman. Call him Casper the Ghost. He walked right through the Marietta line and 17 yards later scored. With the extra point, Lassiter led 7-6, and it looked like the Devils would go back into the locker room down by a point, but this completion to Courtney McCray puts the Devils back on top. Then with 52 seconds left in the first half, they ran the same play to clinch the 2-point conversion, and the Devils never looked back. The Trojans played a stubborn game, but Marietta escaped, holding on to its 6 Quad A sub-region A lead.
Well, the electrifying Cobb Prep Rally Halloween special continues. This next segment might just shock you. We asked some North Cobb High School students what really fries them about the opposite sex.
Hi, my name is Jamie Hiddleston, and I'm from North Cobb High School. Today I'm going to ask my friends what they dislike about the opposite sex. Christy, what do you dislike about the guys?
Oh, I hate when they act all hard, you know, when they think they are all that, and all they care about is their friends, what their friends think.
Sounds good to me. Let's go over here and ask a guy.
When they come up and put their arms on your shoulders. That was mine.
Okay.
I don't dislike anything about girls.
Oh, come on. There's going to be something that bothers you?
Well, no, I like them all.
When they spend the most time fixing their hair.
This is James, one of our football players. James, what do you most dislike about girls? What bothers you?
How they always scared they're gonna break a nail.
Well, I never broken a nail, but I did tear a ligament in my knee. Hi, I'm this week's Mr. Trivia guest. I play football for the McEachin Indians. Unfortunately, my knee injury is going to keep me out of action for a few weeks. I'm a running back for the Indians, but when I'm not piling up rushing yards on the field, I enjoy exercising, running track, and watching college ball on TV. If you know who I am, call in and win.
The Wednesday night trivia question is brought to you by Hair Pizzazz in Marietta. The fifth caller through with the correct answer wins a free appointment. Call now.
Cobb Prep Rally is not done yet. When we come back, Pebblebrook coach Chuck Steins joins us to talk about the Falcons' first win. And a few of the Falcon faithful give us their opinions on this Friday's game. Stay tuned.
Seniors, graduation is closer than you think. The fact is you can get a great education right here in Cobb County at Kennesaw State College. State-of-the-art technology, day and night classes to fit your needs, lots of student activities and low tuition. Kennesaw State has it all. Call Kennesaw State now at 423-6300.
Welcome to the new age of cheerleading. Cheering is now a varsity sport, and now more than ever, it takes sweat to make the squad. American Cheerleading hasn't forgotten that cheering should be fun and taught in a positive atmosphere. They let you set your goal and help you become your very best, and it's never too late to start. American Cheerleading's mission is taking beginners to a level they never thought possible. Flexible enrollment and experienced coaches at one nearby location. American Cheerleading, from the basics to the best. Let's face it, if you're frustrated with school and getting poor grades, it can affect your whole family. But fighting about it won't help. Doing something about it will. Call the Huntington Learning Center at 977-2800. We can diagnose the full range of your academic strengths and weaknesses and develop an individualized program to help you succeed in school.
Take control of your future and break the failure chain for good.
Call the Huntington Learning Center for a free appointment. You can learn. Call Huntington today.
Are you a high school athlete looking for scholarship money? North American Sports Scouts can help. We'll send your profile to hundreds of colleges every month to help you find scholarship money. There's money waiting for you. Don't get overlooked. Call North American Sports Scouts for a free consultation.
Well, thanks for staying with us, Cobb County. And now joining me is Chuck Steins, coach of the Pebblebrook Falcons. Coach, I was at your game the other night. It was a very exciting game. You were down by 14 in the fourth quarter. Team showed a lot of poise, a lot of confidence, and came back and won the game. Tell me about the game, how you won it, and what it's going to do for your team.
Well, it's got to help us as far as confidence going the last two games. We've got a good football team. We're just young. You know, young people are going to make mistakes, and we expect that, but we don't use that as an excuse, and we've tried to tell them the same thing. And we knew we had about 2 minutes and a half, and we started down the field, and we got in a 4th down and 9 situation, a clutch situation, so we decided to call what we call our all curls, everybody with double wideouts, and happened to hit Brad Woods on a big play right there, and he almost broke it down the sideline end, and that set us up in a big situation. Tuck it in, dove in from 5 yards out, and we weren't sure he got in until officials threw his hands up.
You told me Friday night that you had made a challenge to yourselves to win your last 3 games.
Right.
I don't think you can make the playoffs. Now you've won the first one, so how are you going to approach this Friday's game against Douglas County?
Well, Douglas County's got a real good football team. I mean, they're much improved. 3 years ago, they didn't win a football game, and like I said, we're just going to take the same no-nonsense approach and just keep working at it like we've done all year long.
Great. Well, that's going to do it for this edition of Cobb Prep Rally. We now leave you with some predictions from the Falcon student body about this weekend's game against Douglas County. We'll see you next time.
Go Pebblebrook! I think the Falcons are going to take it. We were really, really strong in the last game, and I see a Falcon victory in our future. Predicted score, Falcons a lot, opponent not as much.
Man, you should have seen it. Last Friday night, we whooped up on South Cobb, and let me tell you, Douglas County's got it coming to them this Friday.
52-7.
something like that. Maybe even 52-3.
On tonight's Cobb Prep Rally, we kick up our heels as the football season heads towards postseason play. Hope High School makes a splash as we go poolside for our female focus. Hope and Milton collide in a battle for their sub-region championship. All this and more on the fastest 30 minutes in television.
When you order our hot wings at Buffalo's Cafe, we provide you with one of these. Of course, when you order our extra hot wings, we suggest you bring